Yo guys, it's Britt here coming to you live, and I wanted to share a confidence tip with you, something that's really helped me a lot because I've been thinking about this idea of what it means to be a confident person or how to be a confident person because I taught a webinar for this lady, Christine Clark, on Facebook. You guys follow her. She's a Reiki master and does cool stuff. Anyways, I was teaching this webinar in her mastermind, and she wanted me to talk about the solar plexus and confidence because she said that I really embodied that energy. But like the funny thing is I didn't really like see myself as that. It's funny how other people think that you're a confident person when you don't always feel that within yourself. But even though I don't always feel like I am the most confident person, I mean, I still sometimes feel like I'm kind of a fucking loser and like, oh my god. But most of the time I feel pretty good. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Hey Astral, yeah, I'm in the leopard today. I had to wear the leopard print. Like, I just really had to. So, anyways, even though I don't always feel like the most confident person, I do realize that I've actually, like, read a fuck ton of books on confidence. And, you know, I've done a ton of energy work on myself. And actually, I'm doing another course today and tomorrow, you guys. I think it's kind of like Reiki. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's called Heart Resonance. So I'm super excited about that. But before I head there, I wanted to just do this live and pop on here and share this with you. So this is something that's really helped me is staying in my own energy when I'm around other people. And I think quite often, like, the reason that we feel that we're not confident or that we're shy, like for me personally, like I used to think that I was shy, but actually now I think I'm like the most extroverted person like ever. Like I literally don't have an introvert muscle in my body. Like I'm not a freaking introvert at all. Like, and I see a lot of posts about people that are like, I'm an introvert, but I still do my business and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, like I don't even relate. Like I'm actually totally an extrovert. And another thing, I love small talk. Like a lot of people do posts about like, oh, I hate small talk. Like talk to me about like deep things. And I'm like, dude, like I fucking love small talk. Like I love talking in the elevator to people about like the weather and shit. Like that is like so fun. So anyways, I'm totally an extroverted person. But I used to think that I was a shy person, you guys. And the reason why I thought that is because I was doing this. And I'm going to teach you how to not freaking do this. So, okay. Staying in your center around other people is so key to confidence and, you know, feeling good about yourself and being yourself around other people. Because here's the tendency that we often have when we're with people, and it totally screws us up and fucks with our confidence, is we tend to like jump into the other person's energy, and like this will make sense more from an energetic perspective, right? Like you're talking to someone and then you jump into their energy to try to see how they're feeling about you, how they're perceiving you, and like what they're thinking about you. Okay? So it comes from this fear of what are they thinking about me? And it also comes from this feeling of like, maybe this person is better than me and I better check in to see how they're receiving me to make sure that I can act in accordance with what will make them like me. It's this kind of energy, okay? And it kills confidence because here's the thing. When you're doing that, when you're hopping into another person's energy and you're trying to figure out like what are they thinking of me, like what should I say next, what should I do next, how should I act, does he think I'm being weird, or like you're doing that, you're instantly coming out of your center and going into the other person, and then you lose your sense of self. So when you're not strong and grounded in yourself, then you become a pushover, or you become like you're too focused on their opinion of you, right? And it kills confidence. And I found myself doing this lots, and I used to do it more than I do it now because now I know this, but I still do it even sometimes. Like for example, when someone is on my video and I'm trying to like give a talk, and some random Indian guy sorry, not to be racist, but it's always a random Indian guy, like, sent me like 100 highs in a row, or like, hi pretty, hi beautiful, how are you dear, how are you dear, and then like it just keeps popping up, and I'm trying to give a talk, but then I find myself going out into that and like thinking about like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? And then you instantly lose what you're talking about, you lose your center, and then you don't feel so confident because you came out of what you were doing to like notice what the other person is doing. And I'm not at all saying that like you shouldn't pay attention to people at all and just talk all the time and not listen and not like receive intuitive guidance about what they're feeling in the moment. Like, obviously there's a balance between going totally into someone else's energy to see how they're feeling and staying in your own center, right? Like, there's other kinds of people that actually just keep talking forever about shit, and you're not really interested, but they don't notice because they're so in their own energy and not in yours, like, at all. They're not seeing how you're responding at all, that it's like there's no connection at all. But I'm talking about the opposite of that, where you actually lose yourself and you totally lose what you were talking about because you hop into the other person because you're trying to figure out what they're thinking of you. And like, I want to say women do this a lot with men, but actually men do it too. Like, if you're ever talking to a guy and then you can feel like he's waiting to see how you respond to something first before he talks about what he actually thinks about it. Astral says, can't laugh my ass off, marry me. Yeah, that's what it's like. So like, this is like a people-pleasing quality that most of us have really ingrained in us, but it actually ends up killing confidence in the long run. It's this, you're waiting to see like, well, how are they going to answer this question? And then I'll answer it, right? But then in that moment, you're not being yourself, right? You've come out of your own energy and into theirs, and you're like waiting. So then you feel awkward because you're in this like waiting period. You're like, well, I'll just wait and see like how they are going to answer this, and then I'll be myself. But like, I just have to like, you know, test it out or whatever. And like, a little bit of that is fine, but it can go to an extreme where like, I used to get in situations where I actually thought I was a shy person. Like, I didn't have anything to say. And the reason I didn't have anything to say wasn't because I actually didn't have anything to say, but it was because I was not in my own energy. I was out in like, what's everybody else doing and feeling, and how should I act so that I can fit into this group or have this person like me or whatever, right? Like, does that make sense, you guys? Does this relate? Like, so I actually had nothing to say, but it wasn't because I wasn't a talkative person. I'm a very talkative person. It's just that I was going into their field, into their energy, and trying to place myself in it when I should have just been being my real self and like being who I am and like allowing them to be themselves as well, but without losing myself, right? And this would be probably like an empath trait, although I don't really like to use that term because I feel like it's disempowering to us, because it's like saying that we just pick up other people's negative energies without knowing or doing anything, and I don't think we actually have to do that. Like, I really believe that, like, even if you're a so-called empath, which I guess I am too because I'm a healer and I can feel other people's feelings and stuff, but I don't like to use that word, because now the way that I found it is I could keep my vibration so high and joyful that like I could be around literally anyone. Like, you could put me in a room with like the most negative person, like a mass murderer or something, and I would like feel joy. Like, it wouldn't even affect me, like, because I'm that strong in my own energy. Kimberly says, great subject, so true. Thanks, babe. Astral says, so intelligent, I love it. You're so deep, you're spot on. Yes, you make perfect sense. Okay, great. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. Yeah, so this is just something that I didn't get to talk about when I was doing this webinar. Like, there were so many points, and now there's other things that I'm thinking, oh, I could have said this too. So this is something that's really helped me. Another thing that I teach, actually, and I have videos on it on my YouTube channel, is a thing called female grounding. And it's like where you ground your feminine energy, and then like you don't jump into other people's energy so much, because I do think it is a feminine quality to kind of like do this. Whereas I think it's more natural for men to just kind of stay put and like grounded and like, no, this is what I am, and this is who I am, and this is what I do. But women are kind of like, well, maybe I could do this or that or that. But like, it's not always like a man-woman thing, right? Because there's many men who fuck, they jump out of their center totally. And then, you know, like, so it's not a man-woman thing. But I do feel as women, we have a tendency to do this. And I do have a video on my YouTube channel, you guys. It's called Female Grounding, and it will really help with this. But what you can do, too, is, like, before meeting with people, especially people, like, maybe that you're kind of nervous around, like, maybe in a dating situation or, like a interview situation, like, maybe you're getting interviewed with a boss or something, and you're, like, fucking, like, feeling nervous or whatever, and you're afraid, like, you're gonna fuck it up or do this, right? Because it's when we're the most nervous, like, and when trying to make a good impression that we do this. But then what ends up happening is we don't make a good impression because now we're not even being our real self, so we're being a fake version of ourselves to try to please the other person, and it's a lot harder to be a fake person than it is to be a real person, actually. And so we feel really awkward and shy and nervous, and I used to feel this a lot. Like when I was trying to be a fake person or I was trying so hard to be liked, I would feel so awkward and nervous, you guys. But now that I just be my real self and I don't really care how other people perceive me, and I'm kind of just like, well, it's actually like I can't not be my actual self. It just bubbles out. I'm actually way less nervous. Like maybe I still get a tiny bit nervous, but it's like so manageable. Whereas before it used to feel like actually like crippling anxiety around people, right? Like I literally had that, and I don't have that anymore. And I swear it's because I was doing this. I wasn't staying strong in my center. And the reason why I wasn't is because I valued the other person more than I valued myself as well. So I had like a sort of inferiority complex. See, like, you're usually confident around people that you think you're better than, right? But it's people that you think are better than you that you're less confident around, right? Because, like, we don't talk about having confidence when we're at home by ourselves. Like, it's confidence, like, is like when you're around people. Like, it's the kind of image that you project or whatever. But here's the thing, if you really feel like you're an unworthy person and you feel like everybody else is better than you, then you're going to have this block, and you might be doing this, and it might be fucking you up. And also, if you do succeed at being a really good fake version of yourself so that people will like you, what will end up happening, and I've done this too, is they won't like you for the real you. And then if you do manage to let out the real you, which is so healing, to do, you'll lose some of those people that you were only with because you were being this fake version of yourself because you were doing this. So I want to prevent that. I really want you to like be your actual self and know that it's good enough, and know that like people can like you for that and not the, you know, person that you're putting on, right? Yeah, I'm sick of empath terminology as well. It's gone pop. Yeah, and it's like, it's disempowering to say like, well, oh, if I'm around a certain person, I'm going to pick up their energy or something. It's like, yeah, it's like saying, oh, if I'm around someone who has a cold, I'm going to get the cold. And like, that's a negative belief as well, because you can be around sick people and not get sick. There's plenty of people that do it, right? So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say, you guys. I'm heading off to this course, Heart Resonance. I will be posting the link to my new program, Light, Joyful, and Free, where I'm going to be teaching you how to be exactly that, light, joyful, and free. It's a program about gaining emotional freedom so that you can be on top of your life and be the goddess or god, it's not limited to women this time, that you know that you already are, and be the light that you know that you already are. So I'll be posting the link to that, you guys, and if you're feeling called, you should totally sign up. Astral says, I've recently realized that I'm an extrovert too. I used to hate going into public. I was afraid and I'd get paralyzing anxiety and shut down. Now when I go into public, I become alive and I have so much fun with the small talk. That sounds exactly like my story. I used to feel the same too, like where whenever I was around people, I would feel like I would shut down. I couldn't be myself. I would be nervous. But now that I've actually accepted myself and I can stay strong in my center around other people, I realize that I'm actually like the most social, extroverted person, and I always have something to say. It's never like that, like, what do I have to say? Like, I don't have anything to say. Like, what are they thinking of me? Because I swear the reason why you feel like that, the reason why you feel like you don't have anything to say is because you're like coming into their energy and you're like looking at their facial expressions too much, and you're like how are they like, what are they thinking of me, like, and then you're trying to construct a response that's going to help you fit in, and then you end up feeling more nervous because then you're being fake. And then people don't like you because there's like a weird energy. It's like, well, like, I don't know, there's just a weird vibe about this person. And it's because you're trying so hard to be liked. But even if you do succeed in being a fake person successfully, which I did for like a long time, and people do like you, when you start being your real self, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? And then that's a sad moment. Yeah, exactly, Astral. We become our truest version of ourselves, yeah, and learned how to protect our energy. It's so true, yeah. And once you know how to do this, you can be yourself around anyone. And I'm not saying like to just talk over people all the time. I'm actually more of a listener sometimes than a talker, but I don't feel nervous. Like, I don't feel like I'm trying to construct what I'm going to say next. Like, I don't feel like people are judging me. And if people are judging me, I'm kind of like, well, that's weird because I'm like a really awesome, fabulous person. And that doesn't really make sense. But okay, I mean, free will, like, go ahead, right? But it's not like how I used to be. And it's because I'm so centered and grounded. But if you're not going to do female grounding on my YouTube, which you should totally check out, or if you're not going to take my course where I'm going to totally teach you how to become your higher self, what you can just do before social situations or like where you're about to feel nervous, just say like a quick affirmation, even in your head, like, I am centered in my own self and soul. And just put like your grounded pants on and then you're good. Hey, Scott, you got it. Keep up the good work, love. Thanks, babe. So, okay, we'll talk super soon, you guys. I'm heading off to this course now, so I'm really excited. And yeah, it's cool. Like, my hypnotherapist teacher, like when I did my hypnotherapist course in September, she told me about this thing. It's called heart resonance that she does. And I just knew right away that I had to do it, even though like I don't even really know what it is, but it was just like a soul calling. Like, it's totally what I need to do. So anyways, for the next 2 days, I'm doing that. So I gotta head there now. Super excited. I'll let you guys know how it goes. And I'll be posting the link to my program. Sign up if you feel called. It's gonna rock your world, change your life. And if you're ready to become free of all those emotions that are holding you back and keeping you stuck in this reality that you don't want to be living, you want to be living in your highest version of your life, in your higher self version, in your soul-led version, this is the program for you, you guys. So I'll be posting the link to that. If you have any questions, message me. And remember, you came for the joy of living. Bye, guys.